Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening this evening. We're glad that you could join us. We're happy to have you on this maiden edition of HR Hangouts. Um, this was actually, this was put together by the Human Resource Development Ministry of Global Harvest Liberty. And before we even go on or do anything, we would first like to say big thank you to our lead pastors, Pastors Tulu and Femi Aladesomi, for giving us this platform to actually be able to do this. HR Hangouts is basically a forum where we would be discussing issues that relates to our business, careers, networking, family, what ever facet of life that we find ourselves in the marketplace, to be precise. And so this is the first edition, which will run for 3 weeks every Tuesday, like you have joined us today. We would be discussing mainly for the first set, for the first episode, and then completely, for the first period, we will be discussing mainly on how to land your dream jobs post-COVID. I know there has been a lot of statistics of people that actually lost their jobs during the COVID period. There are discussions around the fact that we're not even sure if companies are employing or if the jobs are there. And, a lot of things happened. COVID brought in a lot of, accelerated a lot of things that we thought would have happened in 5, 10, 15, 20 years and brought them, to the front and to the fore very quickly. And so it has led to a lot of changes in life as we see it or as we live it, including, the way we work. Never would anybody have thought that we would actually be working from home, or you could have someone work from home full time. You could have people do 2 jobs at once. A lot of things have changed to the way we relate with people and all of that. And so we would be discussing mainly on, how to land this dream job. Today, we would be focusing on where the jobs are. Where exactly do we get the jobs? Where do we look for the jobs? Do they even exist? Because, for example, I was discussing with someone, and the first question was, still looking for work? Is there still, are companies still employing people? And so those are the kind of discussions we'll be having today. With me this evening is Olamide Adeshokon and Toby Adewi. All right, Olamide is, a seasoned human resource personnel. She's a management practitioner, business process improvement specialist, and change management advocate. She's been in this for over 14 years. She's worked in the oil and gas industry. She's worked in the manufacturing industry. Right now, she's in a different company entirely. She's a graduate of mass communication, and she's a Chartered Institute of Personnel Management member. She's an associate member. She holds a PHRI for the people that understand that, okay? And then, of course, she works presently with a multinational. She's a regional manager, HR manager for a multinational covering the entire West Africa. Her experience, has spanned from flour mills to PZ Cousins, and she's here with us this evening. She's not the only one. I also have here with me, permit me to just scroll to check her a CV, as it may be. Oluwatobi Adewi, she's a strategic dynamic HR professional with 7 years of industry experience. She's basically her experience is basically in handling both generalized and specialized HR roles, covering recruitment, selection, and placement, to mention a few, including strategy and policy. Toby is also an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel, and she's currently an HR partner, if I'm correct, at a company right here in Ibadan. And so the idea is that we have people both from the multinationals and then from companies within the country, just to rub minds, discuss, and find out, what exactly is going on in the space when it comes to recruitment. So, okay, before we go on, I want us to do something very short, just to take a 2-minute prayer, because God is also very much present with us. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for the opportunity and grace to be present here to be able to do this. We ask, Lord, that you will take total control. We ask, Father, that you will open up our eyes and our ears of understanding to see the things which may have left out in helping us to achieve our dreams, to get to where we want to get to. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Lord, because this program, this discussion is fruitful and people that are listening to it are blessed in the name of Jesus. For in Jesus' mighty and precious name, we have prayed. Amen. Amen. All right. So first discussion, the first question mainly is about the fact that people have lost their jobs. Some people that were looking for, that never had jobs, were still struggling to actually get the jobs. And then COVID happened and then they couldn't get the jobs. And it looks like, especially when you take a look at the country like Nigeria, where you've had a mix of some companies folding up, some companies leaving the country and all of that. The question is, are the jobs still there? Do we still have companies recruiting? That's the first question that comes to mind. Solamide, I don't know if you have anything to say about this.
Okay, good evening, everyone. To cut to the chase, I would say definitely the jobs are out there. One of the issues that recruiters are having right now is having great talent that will fit into the numerous positions that they currently are filling. Now, we are in the era of the Great Resignation. If you're familiar with the HR world, you will understand that one of the greatest issues that talent managers and recruiters are having now is having the right talent and fitting the square peg into the round holes. You see that the issue of urban migration has further accelerated this or expanded these issues. So the pandemic has actually accelerated the future. And whether we like it or not, those who are waiting for the future are actually making the biggest mistakes of their life. The future is here, the future of now. If you look at immigration statistics in Nigeria, as it were, we have a lot of experts who have actually moved out, and we're looking for people to fit into this role. So to go directly to your question, yes, there are vacancies. It only needs you to look in the right places and understand that the world is not waiting for you. You need to catch up with trends in order for you to get the right job. Thank you.
So the jobs are there, but the skills or the skill set that are required are not available. That's a big topic to actually discuss. I don't know what you think about this, Sister Toby.
Just to add to what she has said, good evening, everyone. Like she rightly said, we have the jobs, but the challenge right now is that people who are looking for jobs do not have the skills needed for the positions that are available. So, and that's actually a major problem at the moment. So people are looking for jobs, the jobs are there, but they don't even have what it takes to be able to perform the roles and responsibilities expected of them on the jobs they are even looking for in the first place.
Thank you very much. So I mean, this were part of the questions that I thought we would talk about later. But now that we've mentioned or we've talked about skills, so there's this discussion around. I go for an interview, or I see a vacancy online, or I see a vacancy somewhere, right? I hear about it. And there's a question of, oh, you need to have this kind of experience. You need to have this kind of skill. But for example, I'm a fresh graduate. I mean, where do I get the skills from? Where exactly am I going to get it from? The fact that I just left school, or the fact that, okay, fine, I've had 1 or 2 years experience, but you're asking me for 10 years of experience when it comes to a particular job. The question is, where do I get the skills? What can I do?
Okay. So let me jump on that. Okay. So the thing is, for graduates, for fresh people who are actually fresh into the labor market, the problem is they are looking at the wrong places. So you do not have the experience needed. Organizations are actually looking for people with 10 years experience. Can you intern for these organizations? The challenge is fresh graduates, They don't even want to intern at all. They don't want to learn. They just want to earn it big as they are graduating from school. You know, they're asking for huge salaries and you're asking them, what can you do? And they can't do anything. They're actually internship opportunities for people who are fresh. But the challenge is they do not want to even learn. And that's a major challenge right now that we're actually facing. So there are no jobs. Organizations are looking for people with 10 years experience. Can you intern for free for a few months? Yes. Can you intern for free for those organizations? They are not going to chase you away. Okay, so I'm going to use, so that I wouldn't just be talking out of the blues, so that people will be able to relate to some of the things we're trying to talk about. I studied zoology from University of Ibadan. So my first degree, and that's not related to HR. And at the point when I finished from school, yeah, it's not related. So at the time I finished, I was interested. And based on, okay, the opportunity, the experience I had in school with this organization, Unilever, it opened my eyes to that field. Yeah, so, and I was interested in it. So what did I do? I didn't just sit down and then start saying, oh, there are no jobs. They are not taking me because I studied zoology. I actually worked up to organizations, to an HR organization, and they had offices in Nigeria, like all of the regions. And I walked up to one of their regional managers. I applied that, okay, you don't have vacancy right now. I'm interested in this field. I want to intern with you for some few months. The man said, the regional manager said, okay, we are not going to pay you. We do not have vacancy at this point in time. Yes. Are you willing? And yes, I said yes. For the first 3 months, I wasn't paid. But after the 3 months, yeah, it was meant to be like a 3-month internship. And when vacancy came up, the regional manager at that point in time found me indispensable. So the thing is, are you ready to put in what it takes? Are you ready to learn for free? Are you ready to intern? Not forever, because that's always been the challenge with graduates. When you tell them sometimes you need to intern for free, they start looking at you and like, really, for free? With the way things are. But the truth is, wherever you apply, wherever you apply for those internships, when you bring value on the table, I'm telling you, definitely they are going to reward the value you are bringing to the organization over time. No organization would want to throw away a valuable person, a skilled person. Let me stop it at that, because I know my colleague might have that thing she might want to add to this. Because I can dwell on that for so long.
Okay, thank you so much, Toby. Can I go ahead?
Please go ahead.
Go ahead. Yes.
One of the things that fresh graduate needs to understand is a personal career assessment while you are in school. You need to have it. It's a personal improvement plan for yourself. You need to have this honest conversation with yourself on what are in this for me? Where am I going from where? From where I am and what I'm currently studying. You need to understand your career choices. Fine. A lot of us, with the reality of Nigerian these days, we're not given courses that we want. Yes. So you need to face that reality and understand what are your interests. Have you explored your interests, basically? Have you spoken to professionals in your interests? What are the things that are aligning with your values? Have you reviewed your ability towards the end of your program? You know, a lot of us just go into school. We are very, very unprepared about facing life. What are the skills? What are your needs and your inherent value as an individual? What are the potential occupation you can do with your current qualification? If what you were given in school is not actually what you want to study, have you investigated additional qualifications that you need for the career of your choice? Are you currently demonstrating your abilities in whatever roles you're given, even while in school? Now, I've spoken to a couple of people about how to fine-tune your CV as a fresh graduate. You see those fellowships that you were head of those projects, final year projects, those are your experience that will work for you when you're out there, when you're in the world. How do you craft it to say that I was the head of Global Harvest Fellowship. You know, I led a project team of 20 people in a faith-based organization. I know. So they begin to ask you, what exactly did you do? And these are the things we were able to achieve. I was able to have a turnaround of so, have it, analyze it, and ensure that you are visible, irrespective of whether you've done this or not. And the thing is, have you really asked people who have gone ahead of you how to excel in your chosen career? Basically, what are the things your current skill can align with? All right. Yeah. If currently you're working as a secretary, let's even leave those who are fresh graduates and go to people who are maybe fresh out of school. You are a receptionist. I tell people in a couple of years, 1 or 2 years, your job will go extinct. I had the realization when a particular mentor asked me one day, I was a secretary, very happy with my job, the executive secretary to the HOD of a department. You needed to see the way I carried myself. Till tomorrow, he asked me, Olamide, fine, you're a secretary, well done. What next? Mm-hmm. He asked me casually, and he said, when you're done with being a secretary, and and I saw that people, I was in a university environment, and I saw that people became admin officer. And he asked me, I said, I'm trying to get into ASCON to be, and he said, when you're done being an admin officer, what next? So it's not only for you to address yourself as a fresh graduate, for the entry level people, when you're done with your customer service job, when you're done with your administrative job and the sales officer job, what next? So what are the skills you are gathering for the future? How are you preparing yourself? What are the competencies you have built into yourself? How, like Toby mentioned, how indispensable have you made yourself in such a way that you have transferable skills, not only on your current role. So this is what I do. Let me share a personal experience. When I'm on a job, I try as much as possible to perfect my skills, own my skills, and I speak to people and I tell them, most likely most especially my teammates, I'm going to be on this job for 2 to 3 years. Get ready. I'm moving on. Get ready to take this role. So I'm looking at, for organizations that have the competency mapping, it's an HR term, ready. I look at what are the qualifications I need for the next level. What are the parameters that I will be judged by, and I begin to put steps in place to achieve it. So definitely as a fresh graduate, I hope you've been able to take a few things from what I said to be able to project yourself as what the company actually need for the future.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so two things before we get carried away with the discussions we're having. So this is Global Harvest Church Liberty Road, HQ, we like to call it. So you can actually follow us on all our handles on Facebook, Mixlr, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You could just follow, you would get to experience God and discover purpose, definitely. The second bit is also that you can type in your questions. We would actually be able to look at them and see what time we have. Most likely we'll have around 10 to 15 minutes of actually answering questions from our viewers. All right. Yeah. And going back to our discussion, there were just too many things that came out in the 5-minute discussion we just had. I'm not even sure where to start from, but I remembered a few things which a number of things resonated with me, which is the fact that, everything you're doing, do it as unto the Lord. Everything you're doing, every time, you are assigned a responsibility, whether in church, whether at home, wherever it is you find yourself, whether at work, do it as unto the Lord, because you are actually gathering experience that you will eventually need. This is not a service, but, let's go back to the life of Joseph. I mean, all along, all through, even while he was in prison, while he was at Potiphar, he was actually gathering experiences. Those experiences were what he actually made use of when he became prime minister in his 30s at a very young age. And so it's very key and important that at every point, know that there are things that you're acquiring. It might not make sense, right there and then. Most times it really doesn't make sense. That's one of the points. The other thing, so the other thing which jumped out at me was the fact that young people these days, well, sorry, I'm still young, I'm not old. So a lot of us want to start at the top. When I started working about 2007, I think, or 2006, my salary was around, I think, 60,000, 50 something thousand after taxes, and that was it for 2 years, and at some point I decided to get married on that kind of salary. Anyway, that's a different story for another day. But the deal is that you will not start at earning 500,000, 600,000, 1 million, 2 million, as someone who's just new to the job, or, in your first or second year. Everything is a process. It takes time. To take us, to the next level, or to the set of discussions, because we talked a lot about skills. We talked about skill assessment. So Lamdi, I'd like to find out, for you to talk a little bit more about, doing skill assessment, especially because everything starts with self-awareness. A lot of us are not aware, from across board, from entry level right to the top. Self-awareness / self-assessment really helps you to know who you are, understand what you have at your disposal to take you to the top. So I would really want you to talk a little bit about that, especially as regards to getting, the job concerning, landing your dream job post-COVID. The other thing I wanted to find out is also from Toby, is that what are the skills that I really need, to get these jobs, or to land the job that I'm looking at right now. I know there are technical skills. The technical skill bit is part of it, but I'm talking much more about the soft skills. All right. So, Olamide, I think you should start. So talk a little bit more about how to, do self-assessment, personal assessment, and then Toby can talk about, what are the skills that I actually need to land the job that I need post-COVID.
Thank you very much. One of the things that I'd want us to really, really be clear about is I think Deloitte had a research indicating that by 2030, 2/3 of all the jobs in the world will be soft skill intensive. So it's clear. All right. So the onus fall on you as an individual. And these are reputable organizations that people wait for their results, their assessment of situations to make informed decisions about the future. So it's now remains for you to assess yourself, basically, have an introspection apart from technical skills that are out there. For you to be an engineer, that you should have a couple of skills. Let me use finances, a financial manager. You want to be a manager, you should know that you should understand the auditing arm of accounting. You should understand the treasury arm, maybe financial reporting, maybe commercial finance, supply chain finance, and basic things. These are out there. So, for example, I'm an HR person. I know what I'm looking for when I'm recruiting for an engineer. The first question I would ask is, what aspect of engineering? Is it building? Is it civil? I know that civil is definitely different from building technology, all right? Infrastructure and all of that, mechanical, electrical, all right? So you can assess yourself based on this, and Google it out there. To go there and seek for information, to say, what skills do I need? Start from there. On that phone that you subscribe data to and you watch Instablog 24 hours. Some people can give you the history of, don't let me advertise anybody here, the average Nigerian actor. But if I ask you, what do you need to become a professional in your field? Some people do not even know what the professional body that certifies their profession, what they do, where they are. I'm serious. I come across a couple of people and I said, start with networking with people around you. So find out what the technical requirements and competencies are for your role, then develop very well on your soft skills. All right. One of the things I know very much so that I would quickly like to add, I know Toby most likely will touch on it, is whatever role you're having now, you cannot take away the place of technology right now. So even as an HR person, I'm sorry, already looking at the next Scrum Agile course to do so that I can boast that I'm a tech recruiter. All right. This is the skill for the future. How do you link your current occupation to technology? That's where we're going. You know, the emotional intelligence that you need as a person. How do you do it? People are going through a lot. Everybody is hiding, quote unquote, under the guise of I am depressed, without even know what's the definition of, you're not emotional depression. Let's talk this is it.
Oh my goodness, sorry, Wella.
To deal with this millennial generation, basically. Assess yourself based on the technical skills. It's a lot, it's another topic on its own to determine how do you even know each of these individual per profession. All right. If people can reach out subsequently in other editions, maybe we'll undo that. Understand the technical requirements, understand the emotional requirements, but there are some salient ones that you cannot avoid as a person. Network with the professional bodies in Nigeria. I know you want to do ACCA, but can you start with ICANN first? You want to do, what's it called? PHRI? You want to do SHRM, CIPD? Have you registered with CIPM? You want to do, what's it called? This engineering body, ASEN, US? Have you registered with NSC and COREN? All right. So what are you doing to link yourself with people who matter, developing your social and professional capacity? All right. Where you are still in Nigeria, make Nigeria count. I think I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I told you over to you, please.
All right. So to add to what she has said, soft skills. Yeah, I'm going to start with critical thinking, problem solving skills. They are very key for most roles at this point in time. Leadership skills, working with people. A lot of people they have all the technical skills in quotes, but they fail when it comes to working with people. And interpersonal skills, adaptability. How agile are you? How resilient are you? Those skills are key. Data analytics. And the world right now, right now as we have it, there's no industry, and there's no industry, there's no, what's the word? There's no industry that do not work with data as we have it right now. So skills around data analytics, business intelligence, analytical skills, analytical thinking. Those skills are things I feel people should be looking at, because even from what the World Economic Forum, as at the last forum, there were a lot, some of the skills that were highlighted still has to do with some of the skills I've mentioned here. It has to do with problem solving skills, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and those skills are very critical. And like we've mentioned earlier, where you are, the role you occupy at this point, in the next 2, 3, 4 years, how relevant is that role? Okay, the skills you have as a person in the next 3 to 4 years, how relevant are those skills to what your organization is? And I can tell you categorically that the skills I just mentioned right now are skills that are needed in the next 5 years. Are you talking critical thinking, problem solving skills? Due to COVID-19, a lot of organizations have had crises that they were not envisaging. Organizations in Nigeria were not prepared for COVID, really, in the sense that remote working and all of those things, we were not prepared for it. Fine, some multinationals were prepared for it, really. In fact, they've been having virtual meetings and all of that. But most organizations, even as we have it right now, are still struggling with post-COVID, whatever COVID has, whatever we've had after COVID. A lot of organizations are still struggling with it. So as an individual, as a job seeker, as someone who is even working, looking at the skills you have, how relevant are your skills? How good are you when it comes to identifying problems and bringing and providing solutions that are relevant to the organization and to the department where you are? Your critical thinking skills, and then foreign languages, because I hope I'm not saying so much at the same time, because right now the world is now global. So from the comfort of my home, I can work for any country without having to be in that country. And so learning some of these foreign languages actually gives you an edge. And competition is now is a serious thing right now, because organizations are looking out of their country, because I don't need to have an accountant who is based in the location where I am. I can go on LinkedIn and get an accountant as far as that person is delivering, is performing, is productive. I'm fine as an employer. And these are the skills we need to look at this point in time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. So still dwelling on skills. I mean, I know we've talked a lot about the technical part and everything, but a lot of things just popped out. I remember, you know, I was out of work in 2020 for some period, till some part of 2021, and you know, well, I had a series of interviews, and even prior to that, most of the interviews I've had would always be about trying to understand who you are. You know, there's always, yes, we know that you are probably good when it comes to, you know, you being able to deliver on the job, but who exactly are you? Do you know yourself? You know, how well are you able to relate with people? You know, how well do you fit into the organization, you know, that we have? Our culture is this way. Would you be able to fit in? Are you the guy who, or the lady that, you know, does not speak out? Are you the one who is very fearful? Are you the one, you know, who can relate with everybody? Are you the one who can drive growth, you know, in that area? And so one thing came very, very high, you know, in my mind, which is the fact that, you know, a lot of people say that in Nigeria, as of today, that if you don't know somebody, let's be talking very low now. If you don't know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, you cannot get a job. How true is this, please? That's one. Okay. What is the role of knowing somebody actually? Because you cannot, you know, throw away the fact that you know people, or you can find out from people. What is the role of knowing people in securing a job right now?
I'm very happy to answer that question.
Okay.
Now, I'm one of the, to the glory of God, I've been privileged to work in 3 multinationals. Okay, 2 multinationals and, you know, going global company. So I can proudly say that I got there only by the grace of God. I didn't know anybody. Listen, however, I got information through somebody. So while we, of course, we give God all the glory, I believe that God is expecting us to do our part of going out there. You call it networking, yes. But I would say building your social capital, basically. Okay. Now, it might be networking to a lot of people, but I'd like to ask you, you know, as a listener on today's program, who exactly are your friends? Who are you surrounding yourself with right now? Look at the kind of friends, the network, the people that you have now, and know that this is your future. Does it look like what you want? Basically, how many people can pick up their phone and call you when they have an issue, knowing fully well that you either have the solution or a link to the person that can help, basically. So while nobody helped there, I cannot take away the fact that I had friends, I had contacts, I looked up websites, I looked up online social media pages of companies and got the information somehow. So while you're building capacity, while you are as brilliant as you are, who are those you are building as your professional and social network? Some people can double as both in your life. some cannot. So you need to learn to compartmentalize people and say, this person, I had a friend who told me that it might be harsh, but in 3 to 6 months, I should be able to know what Toby is contributing to my life. For some, it doesn't have to be money. For some people, it is prayers. I know some friends I can call today and say, I am down. Hold me in prayer. I know that wherever they are, if I'm sleeping and snoring, they are praying. Who are your friends? Who are your network? What are they doing for you? What is the contribution of that? Periodically, I review contacts. And it's not pride. I'm just trying to prune as much as I can. So today I have contacts in, different spheres of influence, different aspects of the economy. So you asked me about engineering, I know who to talk to. You asked me about anything, the most basic and random thing. To the extent that I told, I need to commercialize that anyway. To the extent that once people want to ask a question, Olamide pops into their mind. All glory to God. So it was a deliberate thing to build my portfolio, to build my relationship in such a way that I can leverage on them in the future. Not only for me, but for my children who are coming behind me. Who are your network?
Wow.
You need to answer those questions. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So not to overflog it, I just remembered, right? I applied for a particular job and I was screened by the system, if I can put it that way. I never made it to the interview stage based on their algorithms and based on the system, right? However, out of the blues, I mean, I have been chatting with a friend who I had known a long time ago, right? When I was in UI. And so, he just started chatting with me like a few months before then. And then I'm like, okay, you work in this place now? Yes. He was like, yes, he actually does. And then I was like, oh, I tried to apply for a particular role in your company, but I was bounced, And he said, oh, really? Okay, let's give it a try. And so he sends my CV to the HR manager here and says, look, this person, he does not know the HR person, but because of the fact that he's internal, right, he had, that access, right? And so he sent my CV over and, okay, he said, take a look at it. And they took a look at it and they realized, oh, actually, you have relevant skills to the job, right? But I mean, the first barrier screened me out. But either way, the network got me in, right? And then we had the interviews and they realized, oh, okay, this guy's got what we want. And lo and behold, I'm working with them now, right? But if I did not have, that network by the side, yes, it was God, definitely, because he just started chatting with me out of nowhere, right? This was someone I had not spoken with in 2-3 years, right? But the fact that that network was available there to help secure, to help put a foot at the door, that's what I call it. The other thing, which I know very much, is the fact that when companies want to recruit, they first send those vacancies to people internally, right? They first ask them questions around, do you know anybody who fits this role? And so those people take priority. So it is very important that we actually deliberately or are deliberate about our network, about the kind of people we talk to, about it's not just about, hanging out and playing and, chatting, but about making conscious, constructive decisions, in choosing our network and in relating with them. Absolutely. This also leads me to something very key. So we have a lot of, young people who, when you see one-on-one, right, you're talking to them and it's very difficult for them to actually relate with you. They're either very quiet or they don't have too much to tell you. But you go online,
my God,
right? You see this person's profile and you are scared. You're wondering what's going on. I mean, so what do we do about, I mean, what's the advice, to us in building our social capital, like you said? What are the things that we could do, to improve or to increase our network, to increase our social capital?
Okay, so let me just answer. Let me say a few things about what you just said. Social media, as we have it right now, has caused a lot of havoc in a way. It has its own benefits here. Whatever we are doing right now is based on social media and all of that. But I'm saying that a lot of young ones, I'm young, okay?
Yeah, we're all young.
Communicate, like when you're in a gathering, check in like 10-15 minutes, just check everybody. They're on their phones, they're typing, they're hanging out, but they're actually on their phone, they are not communicating. And it's actually a major deal and a major problem. So what I would start with is, we have to be very deliberate. We have to be deliberate about our networking skills. We have to be deliberate about our communication skills. You have to be intentional with yourself, in the sense that you're going for an event, you're going for a networking event, you have to be deliberate. This event, I'm going to ensure that even though you're an introvert, you don't like to talk to people, you don't like to meet people, I have to be deliberate. At the end of this event, I would have at least met, if it is one person who I feel will be relevant to me, maybe later on, whether I need the person right now or I do not. So what I'm trying to say is being deliberate about our communication, our networking skills. We have to be very intentional about it, because these days it's becoming a major challenge. Young ones, okay, so I saw something online recently. I just stumbled on it on Facebook. So it was like an interview, a panel, and I think the people, you saw it too.
The Ghana guy.
Top Ghanaian musicians. I can't remember their
name. The Ghana guy.
I didn't see that, sorry.
So there was this guy that came for auditioning, and the guy had already said some terrible things about this actress, and the actress actually marked the guy's face. So the lady was not like, here I am, I'm seated here. You said so much online, so face me now, to my face. The guy could not say anything. The guy was speechless. He was saying, that's not the real world. Like social media different from. I was blown away. I'm like, really? And that's what social media has caused. People that cannot even face, talk. They can't even communicate. They can't say things on social media. They say a lot of nonsense, and real life they can't even communicate. So I'm saying we need to be deliberate. We need to be intentional. We shouldn't be caught up with whatever is happening on social media. Be deliberate about your language, how you communicate, what you say, how you portray yourself. Because guess what? People lose jobs because of that. In the sense that I want to. You said?
The guy lost his job. The guy lost
definitely. Yeah, lost the opportunity, and a lot lose their jobs based on the fact that you see them, they come for interview, and then you check them up on social media, and there's something else on social media. And it's something we need to be deliberate about in this time, in this age, looking at the fact that the world is global, is going more global than we can ever think or imagine. That person online that you think you might not have any connection with might happen to be the next person interviewing you on your next job. So I don't know if you have any other thing to add.
Okay, if I may quickly add, on networking, let me just say that you must also ensure that you avoid information overload.
Yeah.
Okay.
You must be deliberate about what kind of networking event and what the objectives of your networking is. Basically, you need to set it out. So basically, look for the right people to network with. It might actually be friends of other friends, people with similar interests, people who love health and fitness. In case you're selling fruits, parfait, and all of that, why are you not going to Adama Sigba to make friends there? Basically, all right. So let's be what's it called? Relatable. It might be colleagues, business associates, whoever it is. Look at the right kind of people Another thing is that really kills us right now is some people don't talk to you for 2 to 3 years, and all of a sudden I get a message, Olamide, can you help? And I'm wondering, where's the relationship?
Yeah.
If you have identified that a relationship is going to be beneficial to you, I advise that you, as much as possible, keep in contact with that person. You can drop a random, I'm checking on you. I want to say hello. Because I have identified that this person is a potential HR director in the making. With the skills that I can see, with the kind of network this person has, with the kind of experience that I'm seeing in this person, is a potential general manager of a company in future. I'm going to keep in touch, and I'm going to say deliberately 2 times or 3 times in a year, hi ma, hello sir, I just wanted to say hello. And people like to be appreciated. Say, oh, you thought of me, oh, thank you. It's a lie. I'm depositing, I am making deposit into my future. All right, let's be clear about that. But basically, it takes a lot of being deliberate, like Toby has said, and a lot of all right. Then what are the networking events you are going out for? All right. Be very deliberate about it. If you can do it in person, networking online, go to people who have gone ahead in your field, send them message. And let me also mention that it is a lot of the things you can do is on LinkedIn professionally. Okay, because LinkedIn networking and I mean every networking is actually everything to your career success. You know, when you continually put yourself out there and you meet new people, it helps you step outside of your comfort zone. And apart from stepping out of your comfort zone, you build social skills. The level of your confidence increases. All right. And this nobody can take away from you. So basically, with all of this, I think it helps. It helps. It helps to get out of that comfort zone, discuss common challenges and maybe opportunity with people in the same field. And people, another thing is this: if you're working in an insurance company, one of the things to do is to look at potential clients, potential customers, and competitors, and look at events that surround them and attend it. It's not related to your field. All right. You're in insurance, you're in healthcare, you're in HMO. Why are you not attending the next conference of look for a random profession? All right, that can help you build capacity. Okay, whether you're a pharmacist or I'm trying to look for a relatable experience right now, but I know people get it. All right, so please step out of your comfort zone, think beyond the ordinary, and the sky is the limit.
Very quickly, we don't have too much time. You mentioned something that is very important, LinkedIn. Okay, how relevant is LinkedIn in looking or getting a job right now? And then what other platforms are there apart from LinkedIn?
Okay.
Oh, Toby, you want to go?
No, okay. So LinkedIn is like, don't let me say, I don't want to use the word the only, but the major platform.
Okay.
So there are other platforms, but right now, worldwide is actually one of the major platforms you need to be on if you're looking for a job, even if you are not just for job seekers, you have your business, you're running a business, for entrepreneurs, job seekers, you're already in the game, you already have whatever it is you're doing. You need to have a professional profile on LinkedIn, and not just any kind of LinkedIn profile, because
I think to be
you have not even know LinkedIn exists, and they know about Facebook, Instagram, and all of those other social media platforms. But LinkedIn, you'll be surprised at the statistics of people who do not even know it exists. So it's a major platform.
Okay. Hi.
Network
okay,
frozen.
I think it's frozen. Let me.
Yeah.
If you're asking how important LinkedIn, Toby's back.
Come again. I can't hear. I didn't get that.
You're frozen. You got frozen. Network.
Oh my God. So where was I? Okay, so in summary, it's a very important platform.
Toby, on freeze, please.
Okay, so Olamide, I think you should take over.
So I was trying to explain about how you even. Oh no.
Okay,
it's all right.
So
yeah.
One of the if you are asking how important LinkedIn is, I got my last 2 multinational jobs
Via LinkedIn.
It's as simple as that. I did not go and beg to apply anyway. All right. So to the glory of God, basically. So that's how important. If anyone does not know the importance of LinkedIn, I think I do. All right. So it's not so much as I know a lot of people would be in school now and be thinking, I'm still a student. What am I doing there? I want to use the story of a particular guy. I'll try to remember his name, who got connected to Tony Elumelu via LinkedIn. He just made a post like.
Yeah, I saw the guy. Yeah, I saw it.
You know, and he
got
he
dressed up like him, eh?
You know, internship and all of that. So it might actually not look like what am I? It might look like what am I doing there? But I think you should get on LinkedIn in preparation for when you're graduating or when you actually graduate from school.
Even as
and another thing I want to say is follow companies, on LinkedIn and all of that, that are aligned with your interest. Follow them back to back. When they say bumper to bumper. Essentially, it's not good etiquette to add people that you don't already know or you don't have, what's it called? But you can actually add authorities in your field, reach out to them. Don't go on on a crazy connection spree and say be adding everybody. Also be deliberate. There are guides, and so LinkedIn it's a whole class on its own. But it's essential that you join, project yourself, put yourself out there for internship. I know people who have gotten jobs through LinkedIn. A security guy who was offered, a lady who was offered, the benefits of LinkedIn are so enormous, even as not only as freshers, as managerial candidates, either mid-level, senior level, you need to be visible out there, even while on LinkedIn. LinkedIn and visibility, like I said, it's a whole topic on its own, but you don't have a LinkedIn profile. And another thing I would like to exercise, I'd like to give people today is quickly type in google.com, type in your name. What do you see?
Google your name.
What do you see? So is it only about the Facebook account or the people you have insulted or your Naira Land comments? Naira Land, it will not be the undoing of people. So that's just the tips about LinkedIn. Very essential tool for career progression. Thank you.
Okay, so we will have loved to go on. But just to drop this on LinkedIn, it is not, don't turn LinkedIn to Facebook.
Oh, exactly.
Very
essential. Instagram. Okay, it is like your identity. Actually, your LinkedIn profile is like your identity. When you have recruiters looking for work, that's the first place they go to. They look you up. I have been looked up millions of times, right? And so every time I always look at it to say, okay, what can I change? Does it look good here? What can I, modify? What can I write in a different way? I know people who pay thousands of Naira to get their LinkedIn profile set up. Okay, there's services like that because they know the kind of people they want to attract. And honestly, being deliberate about it, some of them have actually gotten jobs that are taking them places world over. So if the next episode of HR Hangouts next week, Tuesday, 7:30, we would be discussing much more about LinkedIn optimization. How do I set up my LinkedIn profile? What kind of keywords am I looking at? And then not to take away from the old faithful CV. How do I set up my CV? What do I write in it? Okay. How do recently I asked for, there was a young guy who just finished school, and then I asked him to send me his CV. And oh my goodness, he went online on Google and he just used a template. That template had icons like location icons as bullet points, and then he wrote about himself. I was like, no, I can't present this to anyone. Go back and rewrite it. Yeah, still not sent it till date. You know, so what are the things? And then he will say there are no jobs, you know, Nigeria is this and all that. But so it is important that, you know, we are very deliberate. Thank you very much, Olamide and Toby. I know you guys are quite busy right now. Thank you for spending our time out of, you know, your busy schedule to discuss, you know, on how we can land our dream jobs. There's a whole lot that we still need to talk about. This is not the end. So join us next week for, you know, the same hangout or the same program. We have a lot more questions to deal with as time goes on. And then we believe and hope that, you know, the few things we've talked about here today would be life, would help out, would be useful in you landing your dream job. Lastly, you know, just in summary of what we've talked about networking, very key. We've talked about, you know, improving and increasing your social capital. We've also talked about the fact that even if you don't have the experience, you could volunteer, you could be, you could request for internship. Okay, and then you need to polish and get better in your communication skills. Communication is very important. Then try to do some personal assessment, because when you know yourself, it is easier for you to actually answer questions. It is easier for you to relate with people. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We believe you've been blessed as we have been. I would like to say again, a big thank you to our pastors, Pastors Femi and Tolu Aladesomi. A big thank you to everybody in HRDM also for making this happen. A big thank you to the pastorate also, and to the digital team, everybody behind this to make this a reality. Thank you very much. And until I see you at the next HR Hangouts, we used to say, actually, keep the fire burning. Follow GHCHQ on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Mixlr. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a lovely night.
Thank you.